Hey there, everyone. Hope you're doing well on this, the 20th day of January. And the first thing to say, I think, today is there's obviously something going on in our country right now, the inauguration of a new president. So if you are here live and you think, I don't know that I'm going to stay the entire time because I'd like to see that other thing that's happening on television, then please, please be sure to watch the inauguration if you want to, and come back to this later and discuss with us later. Today we are going to talk about the vaccine and make some space for some questions about that. And I just want to say, obviously, I'm not a medical expert. I am just a public servant in this space, sharing information that's out there available to the public. And so just want to inform y'all as best that I can. And, there's obviously going to be questions that I can't answer that are medical in nature, but what I can share with you, I will share with you. And yeah, just let me see here just a second, get myself queued up to be able to share this with you. First thing that we'll do, as we always should, is to pray. The point of this space, again, is to talk about the issues in the world and hopefully have a Christian space of dialogue, and even further than Christian, the basis being Christian. But of course, we welcome anyone to the dialogue about talking issues in civil ways and respectful ways. And so last week we talked about the RSPECT, not the song, but the respectful guidelines for respectful communication that we share from the Kaleidoscope Institute. And hope if you would like to go back and see that last week and see what we're talking about. But basically, these are the parameters for discussion: taking responsibility for what we say, and having empathy as we listen to others and hear their frustrations or whatever range of emotions people share with these issues, because the issues that we're bringing up are contentious issues, like the vaccine. Of course, there's contention around its safety and around any vaccine. Some folks are anti all vaccines. So we'll get talking about that today, but the first thing that we need to do, certainly, is to pray. So let's do that. This is a prayer for the human family. The Lord be with you. Let us pray. O God, you made us in your own image and redeemed us through your Son, Jesus Christ. Look with compassion upon the whole human family. Take away the arrogance and hatred which infect our hearts. Break down the walls that separate us. Unite us in bonds of love, and work through our struggle and confusion to accomplish your purposes on earth, that in your good time all nations and races may serve you in harmony around your heavenly throne, through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. All right, so here's what I want to talk with you about today. The first thing here is, let's see, I see Sue, I see Virginia. Glad y'all are here. The first thing we'll talk about with the vaccine is how to get one. And so this is, again, public service information that's out there. I want to share with you the website, phone number, and I want to tell you how you can get a vaccine if you haven't already signed up for one, and who can get one. More and more people will be eligible to get a vaccine, hopefully, as soon as next month. And what to expect, the next thing, what to expect when you get your vaccine. And then we'll look at some frequently asked questions on the CDC website, which will help cover you. Now, I want to say this, right? I am a person who trusts the expertise and the authorities when it comes to the State Department of Health and when it comes to the CDC. Now, I understand that there are legitimate reasons to be less than trustful, I guess is the way to say that. I understand that there are reasons to see, you can see inefficiencies and, the kind of classic any kind of government work is to look upon it with skepticism, and I understand that, and I appreciate that. But I don't feel like Dr. Thomas Dobbs or other health officers from the health department or the people working in the CDC, I don't feel like they have a hidden agenda that uh, they're trying to trick me into getting the vaccine or trick me into doing something in order to control me in some kind of way. Now, my personal opinion that I'm sharing there, that I trust the experts and the authorities on the subject. And so that's the way that I'm rolling forward with this. And if you are a person who is skeptical to the point that you don't trust this information, then I want to listen to your concerns uh, for sure. But I want to say that this presentation is going to move forward in a way that trusts the information that's been given by these authorities. So just wanted to say that real quickly, and we'll move back over here to how to get a vaccine. And basically, there's two ways that I know of, unless you're in a long-term care facility, which you might have someone in your family that is. That's being run through a federal program in conjunction with the Walgreens and CVS. And I've heard some frustration about that and the logistics surrounding that and getting the vaccine out to those places. But I've heard also from the governor recently that it's going a little bit better. So the first thing to talk about how to get a vaccine is through the Department of Health and then through your local clinic. So I want to come over here. I want to make sure that I don't have any questions up to this point from y'all. Okay. So the first thing then is to talk about the Department of Health website, which if you listen to the governor's address, let's see here. If you listen to the governor's address this past Monday, and I believe the director of MEMA, Mr. Michelle, I believe, said that the website has been worked on in the past week, and the surge capacity, meaning the number of people that can be on the website, has vastly increased. And so I know that there were a lot of folks that were experiencing delays and frustrated by those delays. And then there were some people that got on and were there, for 30 minutes, only to discover 30 minutes an hour, only to discover that there was nothing available for them, no appointments left. So I imagine that's super frustrating, and I can understand the frustration there for sure. And they've said that they've worked on it, and so now this experience should be much more user friendly and much quicker. And the same is true. They said they quadrupled the size of the call center to be able to take more calls. And obviously this happened after Governor Reeves announced the other day that 65 and older and those with pre-existing conditions could get the vaccine now. And so there was a huge surge of people that the website wasn't ready for. When it opens up again to the next group, the hope is that it will be much better at handling that surge. So that's all I'll say. That we're looking here, and I'll back up a little bit just to make sure. This is msdh.ms.gov, the Mississippi State Department of Health website. And so you can see the biggest banner here. Most things have to do with COVID right now, because obviously it's a big issue right now, especially in the world of health. And so I'm coming over here. Hopefully you can see, make it big. You can see my cursor here. And I'm going over here to vaccinations. And in vaccinations, I can look and I can get an overview to know the basics. And I think that's the page that I'm on. Who can be vaccinated right now? Eligible individuals 16 and older can receive the Pfizer vaccine, and 18 and over can receive the Moderna vaccine. Now that's the approval of who's been approved in this emergency approval of the CDC. The FDA, the FDA approved that emergency use for those who are 16 and older with the Pfizer vaccine and 18 and older with the Moderna vaccine. Right now, the eligible those who are eligible to receive the vaccine in Mississippi are 65 and older and those with pre-existing health conditions. And there's a list of those on here as well, those health conditions. This is where you can be vaccinated. Eligible Mississippians can be vaccinated at one of the drive-through vaccination sites. An appointment is required for drive-through vaccinations. If you're not yet eligible, you do not need to pre-register or sign up. Many health facilities will arrange vaccinations for their staff on site. Check with your facility if you are a local healthcare worker. And look for MDHS's announcements on our website and in the news concerning vaccination availability. So every time that comes up, there's some announcements that come on Facebook, over social media. They also come on the website here, and then the governor has been holding a lot of press conferences, and those are the places where I'm getting a lot of that immediate information. Like the governor last week said 65 and older and those with pre-existing conditions on that Tuesday, and then it was bam, here it is. This past week there were 12,000 appointments that opened up at the Trustmark Center in Pearl, and it was like, okay, let's get that information out quickly. Bam, there it is, so we could get our folks signed up. So that's the way to keep the finger on the pulse, really. I think, where those announcements come from, those when the governor gets on and holds a press conference, that's one of the quickest ways to get informed. What to expect after vaccination. Expect some soreness and fatigue. I want to get into that a little bit more in a minute with the frequently asked questions. But basically, this is where to get your information on how to do this in Mississippi. Vaccination overview. I come over here to where to get a vaccination. You can see who is eligible. And here's the place where it says adults 65 and older. And here is a list of those conditions, chronic health conditions, which allows you to qualify to get the vaccine now if you can schedule an appointment. And you can see the list: cancer, heart conditions, sickle cell, all the way through other medical conditions as determined by your medical provider. Now that is an important thing, right? You call your doctor and you say, doctor, do you think that I need to get this vaccine right now based on my medical history? Your doctor says, yes, go get it. Then you're ready to go. All right, and this gives a little information about long-term care facilities, where you can be vaccinated. Free drive-through vaccinations. And this is the place right here, is one of the places where you can get to this link and schedule your online vaccination. 18 or older, please go online. They're trying to point everybody to online as the easiest way to do it. But they also have this, if it's not convenient for you to do it online, you can call this number, 877, here it is here, 978-6453. And then after vaccination, you'll come in, you'll drive through, and then they'll ask you to park, I believe, for 15 minutes for observation after your vaccination. And after your vaccination, continue to follow all safety measures. And that's another thing. And then this has been one of the sources of anxiety and frustration about the second dose. So let's say you go to one of these places and you go to Greenwood, get your shot, and you come back and you hear the next day that they're out of vaccine. Well, it's not exactly true, because they have reserved enough vaccine to make sure you get your second dose, or at least that's the plan for them to reserve that based on the allocations that they know are coming. And so you can still go back on the website. You can have a drop down. There'll be a drop down that'll say first or second dose. You choose second dose. At that point, there are going to be more appointments available to you. The important thing is that if you've got the Pfizer vaccine here, you got to return in 21 days. You got the Moderna vaccine, you return in 28 days. You want to make sure that the site is given the same vaccine. And that may only be able to find that by calling this number. So, if you go to the same site, then you're going to get the same vaccine. But if you choose a different site for your second dose, then you probably want to call and make sure that they've got the same vaccine available there. I'm gonna check on y'all. I'm over here on the web, and let me come back over here and see if I've got any questions happening over here. Not yet. All right. If y'all got any questions, let me know. I see there are three of y'all hanging with me. I know everybody's watching the inauguration. Again, if you're watching this later, feel free to ask me questions. If I can research those questions and find it out with the information that's available on the website, I will do. And if it's medical, and for me, it could be medical, and so I'll say this, just to share my experience a little bit. I actually received my first dose of the vaccine, the Moderna vaccine, from a clinic in Hattiesburg, which is offering the vaccine to clergy. Very thankful for that. It means that I can get back in the hospital a little bit sooner and do some more pastoral stuff. So my experience, you go to the clinic, and this is getting into a little bit of what to expect, but I went into a clinic setting. They had plenty of staff there to direct people as to what was happening. There was space in the hallway there for me to sit. They called my name within 15 minutes. I go in and get the shot, and I've got soreness in my arm, maybe a little bit of joint pain, but I got the Moderna shot. I go back in a month to get my second shot there. Overall, a very good, easy experience. And I want to get into just a little bit of more about those side effects and like what they talk to you about. But all that is to say, in a clinic setting, it happens at least. I think the experiences are going to vary, but I will say that from my experience in this particular clinic, they were doing things very efficiently, and I'm thankful for that. So then the next thing I want to talk to you about over here in my if I can get to it, what to expect, the logistics. We talked about this a little bit in this when we were over here, and basically at these drive-through sites, you could probably expect a good line at these sites when you go through a drive-through. And I don't know if any of y'all, if you want to share your experiences, if y'all have done that. I know we've got some people in the church that have gone to Greenwood, to Natchez, or are scheduled to go. I think you can expect some time to sit and wait in the car as you get in line. The National Guard will likely be there, and I've been to places where the Guard are doing testing sites. They've got, you can, if you want examples of how to do things logically and logistically well, then the Army's been doing that kind of stuff for a long time, and so the National Guard is helping run the sites, and I think you can expect for it to move smoothly once it gets going. And so the other thing to expect, they're going to talk to you about the side effects. And the big thing that they want to talk to you about is whether or not you have a history of having difficulty breathing after you receive an injection of medicine. And so anaphylaxis is the medical term, and I'm getting into words and places that are my expertise, but basically, have you had a severe allergic reaction to any kind of injection in the past? They monitor everyone for 15 minutes after you take the vaccine, just as a precaution to make sure there's no immediate allergic reactions. But that is part of what you might expect, is to hear that or be asked that question. And if you answer yes, they're probably going to monitor you more closely. Or have other suggestions about what to do. And so talk to your doctor about that if your answer to that question of severe allergic reactions is yes. Now, for me, in my personal case, I am allergic to penicillin, and got an injection of penicillin when I was young and had hives. I didn't have the difficulty breathing. But, for me, that was a question of, okay, well, if penicillin when I was a child, should I be concerned about this? So that's an example of if you've got anything that comes up for you like that, you might want to talk to your doctor about it. Again, I'm offering information here and not any specific medical advice. Just giving you an example of my personal experience there. Covering my tracks. All right. So back to the next thing that I want to talk to you about. Frequently asked questions. Again, I'm going to go to the CDC website, and I'll walk you through some of these things here. And you can take a deep dive into the CDC website. You can get into lots of research. You can get into the ingredients of what's in each vaccine. You can take a very deep dive in this website and get all the information that you want to know. Of course, here at the top, it tells us cases are rising. We know that there's a surge throughout the nation. It does look like some good news to share is that hospitalizations are down in Mississippi. The ICU beds are down in Mississippi. Hopefully we can keep that downward track going for sure. And here is, and just want to say also, wow, can't believe how much our healthcare folks are doing out there. Praise them, lift them up, pray for them. Just amazing how much they've had to endure and how well they're still doing at handling the surge that has come at them after this Christmas season, this holiday season. So thank a healthcare professional. All right. So I just want to, some of the things that are here, it gives you some facts about the vaccines if you want a quick and easy way right here. This is an important thing to know. It says, can a COVID-19 vaccine make me sick with COVID-19? And the important thing is the answer, which is no. The vaccines don't actually themselves contain the virus. The vaccine cannot make you sick. So it's not giving you, some vaccines in the past, my understanding, they give you a weaker form or a deadened form of the virus that your body can respond to. This is not that kind of vaccine. And so, no, it cannot give you COVID-19. After getting the COVID-19 vaccine, will I test positive? No. The answer to that. If I already have COVID and have recovered, do I still need to get the vaccine? Yes, because there's the potential for reinfection. But you need to go after your symptoms are gone. Will a COVID-19 vaccination protect me from getting sick? Yes, it will. That's its job. That's what it does, and it's the estimates are there for 90%. 90% effective, 90 to 95% with both of the vaccines. And also, one of the things that I learned in this is that it may also prevent you from getting severely ill. If you still get sick and get COVID-19, it may prevent you from getting severe illness or having long-term health effects. So, big benefit. Big benefit. Will it alter my DNA? Now, this is from the anti-vaxxers, right, that want to say, obviously, when it comes to vaccines, the general population, including me, we don't know how vaccines work, the intricacies of what's happening on that molecular level. And so there's a lot of opportunity for uncertainty come in, which means there's a lot of opportunity for theories about what's going on in the background and hidden agendas. Like I said, I'm not a subscriber to those things. I understand that there are concerns, and I understand that we've got social media and stuff to make that stuff just kind of blow up out of proportion. So, no, a COVID-19 vaccine will not alter your DNA. Vaccines do not change or interact with your DNA or in any way. So this is getting into the technical stuff, but it's a messenger RNA vaccine. My kind of elementary understanding of this is that it sends instructions to your cells to teach them how to respond to the virus. So basically, instructions that say if you see this, then you know how to deal with it now, which is pretty interesting and impressive. But it doesn't mix with your DNA. That's the point. I don't want to get too far. I mean, if you want to research this stuff, like you can click this link, how mRNA vaccines work, and you can see that a little bit more yourself. All right, now I want to go back to this page, frequently asked questions. There are some important questions on here, and I don't want to go through all of them, but I do want to go through a couple of ones because these are questions that, obviously, that you may have, and there's some things we don't know. The first thing that we don't know is which lasts longer, immunity after getting COVID-19 or protection from COVID-19 vaccines. Protection one gains from natural immunity. That means having the virus and recovering from it. They think it is about 90 days. Still gathering data on that, and still, small percentage of people being reinfected, but they think it's about 90 days. And we don't know how long immunity lasts after vaccination till we have more data, right? So they're waiting on all the data to come in. Hopefully, we know much more of that by summer as we see the effectiveness of the vaccines in natural conditions or real-world conditions. What percentage of the population? We don't know yet. I've heard guesses as low as 50% to as high as 80%. We don't know what it'll take to reach herd immunity through vaccination. So that's one of the things. And here's one of those places to do a deep dive. If you want to see what the ingredients are, here on the CDC website, cdc.gov, you can go in here and I can hit the Pfizer one, and it gives me a document. And it tells me all of the information that I need. These are the things you should tell your provider if you have any of these things before you get the vaccine. And these are some of the side effects that you may have: injection site pain, tiredness, headache, muscle pain, chills, joint pain, fever. So this is a little bit of a deeper dive. Remote chance that you could have these additional side effects. And so this, again, this is a deeper dive. Keep your card. You're going to get a vaccination card. You're going to keep that card after the first dose and get your second one. That's an important point. Let's come back over here, share my experience again. I got mine on Monday. Today's Wednesday. That's 48 hours. Still have just the slightest amount of tenderness, really, in my shoulder. I did have what I think was some joint pain related to it in my left foot. My wife would say, I'm probably overblowing it, but I think I had a little bit of joint pain. And I think that, from what I read, again, not medical advice, just research by a public servant. But what I read, is like your your immune system is responding, and it causes things to become inflammation in part of your muscles, your joints, and all that kind of stuff. And so that's what happened. I had some tenderness here, and I had a little bit of joint pain. And basically, I was reading one thing that says, what we need to do is talk to each other honestly about the fact that there are probably going to be side effects. Not as many side effects after the first dose, maybe some side effects after the second dose, so that you might have a low-grade fever, you might have more additional soreness, or whatever. But I saw one place that said you're just probably going to need to suck it up and take it, because these side effects are much better than the symptoms of severe illness and COVID. So. All right, I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to see if y'all are talking to me. Oh, yeah, direct site for scheduling. Thanks, Sue, for dropping that in. I appreciate you. All right, I'm going to finish up here with the CDC website and show you just a couple more things so you can deep dive, and if there are any questions you've got. Where? Okay. All right. See, there's some more questions about getting vaccinated. Um, one of the thing, one of the things here is that even after you're vaccinated, you need to wear a mask and avoid crowds and do all of those things. Again, we don't know exactly how long the vaccine will work. We need to still encourage each other to do all of these things and do anything that we can to keep this thing from spreading. So let's keep going. This tells about the vaccine distribution. If you want to get into the particulars about what the CDC recommends, there's the state plan, the CDC plan, and some states are modifying that plan as we have in our rollout based on what our determined needs are. Here's the big one, right? Is it safe? And we talked about it not giving you COVID. And this is just a little bit on the FDA process if you want to go into the emergency use authorization. But basically, expected side effects for the overwhelming majority, it will be safe. And those more extreme side effects are super, super rare. All right, questions about if you're pregnant or breastfeeding. If you have an underlying condition, it'll ask you, it'll get you information on that. And then here's one of the things that I discovered, and this was there when I got my vaccine. There's this app called vSafe where you can you sign in, you report any symptoms that you've had, and then you can see that what else has been reported here. And vaccine adverse event reporting, there's another way to see what's going on if you want to take a deeper dive, if you're concerned about those side effects. All right. Let's see. Well, I think that's mostly it. I know that the vaccine. Oh Lord, here we go. I know that the inauguration is just getting started in. I'm going to go and watch it myself, and I will look for any questions in the comment thread here. I hope that you've gotten some helpful information, and we can continue to share that as public servants, as those who are concerned about the health of those in our community, just as Jesus was all about some healing and the health of his community. We following him can be too. So love y'all. And let me know if you've got any more questions. Peace.